Welcome to Amplifyre's interview series. My name is Kristian, and joining me today is the co-founder at TechVariable, Ratnadeep Bhattacharjee. Ratnadeep, welcome to the series, my friend. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Kristian. What about you?
Very good, and I'm happy to have you on the episode. Now, as today we're talking about the first steps when creating a new product, perhaps you can explain the difference between a minimal viable product, or MVP, and proof of concept, and offer some advice on how a company should choose between the two.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I get this a lot, so let me go with this. So an MVP or a minimum viable product is a version of a product that has the minimum set of features necessary to solve a problem, right? It was designed to solve and meet the needs of its target market, as they say. So its main purpose is to validate the concept, test the market, and then gather feedback to improve the product, right? Now, as far as the proof of concept or POC is concerned, it's a demonstration of the feasibility or concept of a product or an idea to prove that it can work, right? The main purpose of a POC is to determine the viability of the product idea and to validate the technology, architecture, then, philosophy, design that will be used in the development process. Now, uh, when choosing between MVP and POC, generally a company should consider the factors like uh, objectives. So, what is the main goal of the project? If the goal is to validate the product idea, POC is a great way to go. But if the goal is to test the market and really gather important feedbacks, then MVP is a better option any day. Another important consideration is the budget. MVP generally, tends to be more expensive than a POC because they require more resources and more development time. Also, market readiness. If the market is ready for a product and the company is confident in its ability to um, develop the whole product, an MVP might be the best option. But if the market is not yet ready, right, or the company is unsure about the feasibility, then POC is the way to go, of course. Also, another important consideration is, I feel, is the complexity. If the product idea is complex, a POC may be necessary in most cases. So, because it's a proof that the product can be developed before actually committing to a full-blown MVP. So, in conclusion, I would say that the choice between MVP and POC should be based on the company's goals, market readiness, objectives, budgets, and the complexity of the whole product idea. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think we dive a little bit deeper. I know we can go, probably hours talking about both of them, MVP or proof of concept or POC. But let's take a look at, directly the MVP. So maybe you can walk us through the process of the minimal viable product cycle, including some important factors like testing and collecting feedback.
Yeah, okay. So again, that's something that we can write a book on, right? But
Mm-hmm.
let me go with a few pointers, important pointers. So uh, it starts with ideation, right? We need to identify the problem we want to solve, the target market, and then the key features required to solve the problem. Next is, of course, prototyping, developing a starting with developing a simple, low fidelity prototype or, wireframe of the MVP to get a rough idea of what the product will look like. Next is, of course, development, building the MVP, focusing on the most important features and functionalities. Next is testing, as you mentioned, right? Testing the MVP internally within a small group of users to identify any bugs or performance issues or user experience problems right before launching. Then, of course, the most important part, launching the MVP to a wider audience. So there are two ways we can do it, right? It can be either through private or public beta. Private beta is something like, within your closed groups or friends, you can, release an MVP and see what they feel about it. And there are also cases, in fact, we are currently working on one such MVP where, they have released it as a beta, public beta, basically, for everyone to use it and, provide feedback on. And then, as I said, the next is feedback collection. Collect feedback from users, analyze the data, and identify areas for improvement. Next is a very important part. What happens after feedback collection? After feedback collection is actually the iteration phase. We need to incorporate the feedbacks that the users have given us and make improvements to the MVP based on the insights collected, right? So, uh, and then after iteration, it's again the once you know what you need to build or what you need to iterate upon or what you need to redevelop or reimagine, you then again repeat the process. Start from prototyping, development, testing, again launching. So throughout the MVP cycle, one thing that is really important to do is continuously test and collect feedback so that you can make informed decisions about the direction of the product and to ensure that it meets the needs of the target market. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's the MVP cycle.
And it's a really interesting, especially from, designing or building a product. I think the next question that we should really talk about is what the role of a software development companies should play in this whole process in the product development, process.
Yeah. As one of the founders of a software development company, it's kind of we kind of know that it's a very crucial role that we play in the whole product development process. The role the role might include things like we can start with the requirement gathering. We work with the client to understand the product requirements and gather all the necessary information to develop the product through our own solicited methodologies. And then designing, we also participate in the design process. We offer insights and expertise to ensure that the product is not only is it functional but also user friendly. Next, of course, we develop the product according to the specifications and designs already done using the latest technologies, incorporating the best architecture, and also making sure that all the best practices are followed, right? So next is of course testing, doing a foolproof QA of everything, and then testing the product to ensure that it meets the quality standards and that is, free from bugs and performance issues, as I've already explained in your last question, right? So next is maintenance. We companies like us also are involved in providing ongoing support and maintenance to ensure that the product continues to perform optimally. That's of utmost importance. Another, there are two other things which can be added to this list. One is technical expertise. Companies like us also bring technical expertise and know-hows of the product development process. We provide solutions and recommendations to overcome not just technical challenges but also various other product challenges. Now, and then quality assurance. This ensures that the product meets the quality standards that is being delivered, and is being delivered on time and within budget. So it covers the whole gamut of product development, end-to-end development. It's not just one thing that a real, a software development company or a product development company, is involved in. In summary, I can say that a software development company plays a very critical role in the product development process with its technical expertise, development, know-hows, and really, doing the important bit of actually designing and developing it, and then supporting to bring the product to market successfully.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is what a lot of people forget, is that once the product is made, that the cooperation's not over. The quality assurance and the support going through, because all sorts of new updates come out, new devices. You got to make sure that everything is future compatible. So I think keeping that relationship going after the product's developed, I think is hugely important. Again, Ratnadeep, we can talk all day on this, but I'm going to cut it short with one more question for you, because if people are interested in finding out more about TechVariable, where should they go?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You can go to our website, which is www.techvariable.com. Our LinkedIn page is really active, and we regularly post about our company, about our culture, about our development process, about our projects, about our client testimonials and everything. Go to our LinkedIn page, which is simply you type in TechVariable and you can find it. We are also active on Instagram. We are active on Facebook, and yeah, um, basically, since we are a product development company, we call ourselves a product development company. So, founders from any industry can, reach out to us and really understand what our process is, or, it's not just about work, right? Even if they want to talk about uh, how they're looking to develop something, and, need some kind of, at least an assistance in terms of it, at least a free consultation or anything of that sort. We are open to that as well. Yeah, other than, I mean, our primary focus currently is healthcare, but we have also done projects in other domains. So, I mean, people are always welcome to, we are just a message away, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. So go check out TechVariable. Go follow their socials. If you have any questions about their service, guys, feel free to reach out to Ratnadeep. I'm sure he'd be happy to tell you more. So Ratnadeep, I appreciate you joining me for today's interview. It's been a pleasure and an interesting insight on MVP cycles.
Hey, the pleasure is all mine. Thanks, Kristian.